Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to the Two Guys, One Charlie podcast. Great to have you here. If you're a first-time listener, I'm Nick, and this is Owen.
What's up, guys?
And we're going to be your hosts for the show today. Today's topic is going to be tackling some variations of the famous ethical dilemma dubbed the Trolley Problem, in which you're watching a trolley head towards a track with 5 people who are doomed to an untimely demise. But wait, it's not all bad, though, since you have the power to pull a lever and switch the trolley to a different track that'll only kill one unlucky individual. We also are going to be tackling a version of the problem, but instead of a lever to switch the trolley to another track, you have the option to push a heavy-set man in front of the trolley to stop it before it gets to the 5 people, but this does result in the death of the obese fellow. The third and final version we'll be talking about today is going to be pretty similar to the original version, except you are the trolley conductor in this case, not a bystander, and you have the options to kill the 5 people, switch to a track with only one person on it, or switch to a track that will result in your death and your death alone. Interesting stuff, I know. We'll be interviewing 3 different groups of people for this, each with 4 different respondents, which will consist of 1 group of children, 1 group of college students, and 1 group of adults to see if and how the responses vary by group. Alright, so to kick things off, we're going to be starting off with our youngest age group. Owen, would you like to start?
Sure. Our first responder is my younger brother named Colin. He's 11 years old. His first response is that instead of letting 5 die, he would choose to kill the 1. I asked him, okay, so you would choose to turn it to kill 1 person as opposed to just letting it run its course and hit the 5? To which he responded with, yup. Then I said, okay, so you would commit murder? To which he confirmed, yup, and then added 3 blood drop emojis and then a knife emoji. So clearly he has no problem killing somebody.
I'm liking this Colin guy so far. Some real good responses from him.
His second response, in response to the fat man, was that he would push the fat man because that's 1 less fat person alive, but 5 not fat people alive.
God bless this Colin guy. God bless him. Love him.
And his third response is that he definitely wouldn't kill himself, because that's ridiculous. He has more life to live than these people. He would just kill the 5.
Alright, those are some good responses by our buddy Colin there. Definitely what I'd like to hear from an 11-year-old. Owen, you want to talk about the next person we interviewed here?
Sure, our next interviewee is my sister Jillian. She's 16 years old. Her first response is that she would let the 5 die because she could not consciously make the choice to kill a person.
Perfectly understandable. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Her second response is similar to the first. Same with the fat man, she would let 5 die because she does not want to be responsible for killing an innocent man.
Alright, we got some consistency there with her responses. I like it.
And her third response is also consistent with she would let the 5 die as well, because while I wouldn't turn to kill the 1, I also probably wouldn't just kill myself without hesitation either.
That's interesting there. I really thought maybe based on her first 2 responses, she would possibly just sacrifice herself to save more people. But you know what? It's her response, no problem with it.
Her life too.
Yeah. Some good responses by Owen's family members there. Next, we're going to be moving on to Tyler's friend's little brother, Dylan's responses. Tyler, he's one of our friends. We'll be hearing from him later in the show. He's got some real good things to say, I promise you. So for the first question, Dylan said, I would let the 5 die because I wouldn't want to kill 1, and it'd be funny to run the people over like speed bumps. I forgot to mention this, but Dylan's 8 years old, so let's cut him some slack on some of these answers. These are tough questions for a kid his age. For the second one, he said, I would definitely topple the fat man because I would totally want to see a fat man get run over by a trolley. That would be awesome. Like I said, he's 8 years old, guys. I mean, it's not necessarily the most ethical thing to do here, but we can't complain. These are the people we surveyed. These are the answers we got. For the third one, he said, I would just let the 5 die for the same reason as before. I would definitely not kill myself. That'd be stupid. I mean, look, Dylan, nobody's going to blame you for killing yourself, but we appreciate your responses here, even if they were a little harsher than some of the other people we've responded to. Okay, for the final kid we're going to be interviewing here, I'm going to throw it back to Owen. He's going to tell you a little bit about the last person we have here.
All right, last up we have my cousin Alexa. She's 14 years old. Her first response, in her words, is, I'd let the 5 die. I don't want to actually be responsible for killing a person, even if it's only 1.
All right, that's a good response. I like it.
Her second response, I don't think I could push a fat man onto the tracks and watch him die, knowing I was responsible for that. So I would just let the 5 die again.
It's okay. You know what? I can tell she's got a good heart there. Those are good responses. I like it.
And her last response is, I wouldn't be able to kill the 1 or myself probably, so I would just have to let the 5 die again.
All right. She's pretty consistent with her answers. Can't ask for much more than that. Thank you, Alexa, and thank you, Owen. Okay, so that concludes our kids segment. Now we're going to be moving on to our college-age student segment. To start it off, we're going to be interviewing our friend Tyler, who lives right over here in Samuel Hall, if you guys want to come pay him a visit. For these, we actually do have the audio recordings of us talking to them directly, so you'll be able to hear it straight from them. Okay, so right now we're going to be interviewing our friend Tyler. Tyler, would you like to start with question number 1? What are you thinking here?
For question number 1, I'm gonna have to turn it to kill the one person because, it seems like one person is better than 5.
All right, that's a good answer. Thank you. What about for number 2?
I don't think I could consciously push someone in front of a trolley, so I'm gonna have to say just the driver kills 5 people.
All right, kill the 5. Interesting for that one. All right, and for number 3, where you're the driver, what do you want to do in that situation?
Oh, that's a hard one. So I can either kill 5, kill 1, or turn and kill myself. Well, I see, in this situation, if I was the driver, I'd probably have to say I have to look out for other people, so I'd probably turn and kill myself if I had to think about it in a long, in that kind of way. But, yeah, so I'm going to kill myself.
All right, cool. Thank you. All right, you guys just heard Tyler's responses. To carry on with the college-age students group, we're going to have our buddy Billy. All right, Billy, for number 1, what are you thinking here, man?
I'm thinking I'll turn the thing to just kill 1 because I value 5 lives over 1.
Perfectly reasonable answer. All right, for number 2, what are you thinking here?
I would topple the fat man in front of the trolley to save 5.
Same reason as the first one?
Yeah.
You value the 5 over the 1?
Yep.
All right, cool. And for
5
number
is
3,
greater than 1.
Dude, that's straight facts. I can't argue with that. And then for number 3, if you're the driver in that situation, are you going to kill the 5, the 1 person, or kill yourself?
I would kill the 1 because I'm selfish and I want to live, but it still saves the other 5 people too. So I think that's the best.
All right, that's option. Good. We haven't really had anybody say that option yet. I'm glad we got somebody to hear their opinion on that. Thank you, Billy. All right, you just heard from our main man, Billy. We're going to be throwing it over to our homegirl, Gabby. Number 1, what are you feeling, Gabby?
I would turn the trolley to just kill the 1 person because same reasons as Billy, you know.
You just as many people you can save, you go for it. All right, cool. Number 2, are you going to put the fat man in front of the trolley, or are you going to just let fate take its course?
I would put the fat man in front of the trolley. Gotta save those 5 people.
All right, sounds good. And number 3, you're the driver in this case. What are you going to do? The 5, the 1, or yourself?
I'd kill myself.
Any reasoning, or?
No.
All right, just save as many people as you can. All right, cool. Thank you. All right, you guys just heard from Gabby. Next, we're going to be hitting up our buddy Mike. They call him Monkey Mike. He's a silly guy. I'm sure he has some great answers for us. Mike, number 1, you're the bystander. Are you going to let the train kill the 5 people, or are you going to turn it to kill the 1?
I think I'd definitely turn it to kill the 1, just for the sake of, utilitarianism.
That's good. That's one of the vocab words we discuss in class, utilitarianism. That's great.
Very nice,
That's good, man.
Thank you.
All right. For those of you who couldn't tell, we just did a little handshake there to congratulate him on that. That was good. Thank you. Second question. You're a bystander. The driver can either kill 5, or you can topple a fat man in front of him to stop it. What are you going to do?
Topple fat man. Easy. Don't care. Again, same thing as before. It's 1 versus 5. Easy benefit for the majority.
All right. And third situation. If you're the driver, you killing 5, killing it to turn the 1, or are you going to turn it to yourself and save everybody else?
Okay, so for this one, I have a bit of an unorthodox idea, right? Because, again, you could say, utilitarianism, whatever, kill the 1 versus the 5, and then it's the 1 person versus me. But see, I think of me as 2, because I feel like if I died, my girlfriend would kill herself. And so I feel like the 1 other person
Mike,
would
I don't know if
definitely
you
be the
can
right
say
choice.
that for a school project.
I mean, it's the truth. I feel like it's a good point. You got to consider it. So I'd say I'd go with the 1.
All right, you know what? This is a judgment-free zone. We're asking people their answer and how it applies to their lives. That's Monkey Mike for you. He tells it like it is. May not be the most conventional answer, but that's his answer, and we're here to get people's answers. So I thank him for that, not holding back. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, man. No problem.
Okay, so you guys just heard from the group of 4 college-age students. It was raw and unfiltered. We got some answers we weren't necessarily expecting. But you know what? It's an ethics class. It's open for discussion. Not everybody's going to agree with everything that's said, and that's okay, because that's the spirit of the class. It's discussion. It's ethics. It's differing opinions. It's what we're here for. All right, now we're going to be talking about the age of 4 adults that we got here. Group of 4. Owen, you want to start us off with the group of 4?
Okay, first up is my mom. Her first response is that she would let the 5 die because she cannot be responsible for murder, and in her words, this home would fall apart if Dad was in charge.
You gotta love the Penczaks. Great answers for all of them. Beautiful family. Love to see it.
Second response is she would also let the 5 die because pushing the fat man is committing murder, but letting the 5 die, she's not directly responsible.
That's fine.
Got to avoid the murder charges.
Yeah, exactly. Of
Right.
course.
Last response for my mom is she cannot kill herself because she has a family to take care of, and she could not kill the 1, so she'd have to let the 5 die again.
Yeah, and she can't commit murder. She can't go back to jail or anything.
No.
All right, cool. Thank you. All right, you just heard Owen talking about his beautiful responses from his mother there. Next, we're going to be talking about our buddy Anthony's dad. Again, Anthony, right across the hall from our guy Tyler, right over here in Samuel Hall. You want to come pay both of them a visit. Highly recommend it. All right, Anthony's dad, he's a fun guy. He's a snazzy fella. For the first question, he said, I would kill the 1 in order to save as many people as possible in this situation. Perfectly acceptable answer. We've heard it before. I'm sure we'll hear it again today. For number 2, he goes, I would accidentally and forcefully nudge the man off the side to make it look like it was unintentional while still saving the most lives possible. He has some interesting wording there, but we are getting the answer again, just like his first one. We've seen it before. We'll probably see it again. Pretty common answer. And then for the third one, he says he'd probably still kill the 1 to save the 5 because this results in the most lives saved, including my own. That's perfectly fine. We've had a lot of people say that they wouldn't kill themselves in this situation, but they would be fine with killing 1 other person to save 5. It's a pretty common trend we're starting to notice here, and definitely something we'll be discussing at the end of the podcast. Next, we're going to be throwing it over back to Owen again. He's going to be telling us about his grandmother's responses for this.
All right, my grandmother's first response is that she would let the 5 die because she does not want to mess with fate in this scenario.
That's good. I like that. We haven't heard a whole lot of people go for the don't mess with fate situation in this. I like that. That's good.
Don't take the chance. Her second response is that she would not topple the fat man because she also would not want to change whose lives would be taken due to her choice.
All right, we got some consistency in our answers there. I like it.
Lastly, she says, I would probably kill myself to save all those people. It might be altering fate, but at the same time it is doing a good deed, and I'm old anyways.
I really like hearing that, especially from someone older saying that they'd sacrifice their lives to save other people. I like that. It's a sweet thing to say. I know it's your grandma. I know it's not what you want to hear, but doesn't it make you happy that she's doing a good deed though? It's good.
She's a hero.
Yeah, good way to go out. Okay, we got some great responses from Owen's grandma there. Love to see it. She's definitely got a good heart, Owen. You come from a good family. I respect it. All right, for the final person we'll be interviewing for this project, we got my buddy Keith. I work at a grocery store with him in my neighborhood. He's cool, fascinating man. Love chatting with him. So for the first question, he said that he'd kill the 1 to result in the least amount of lives lost. He's keeping it straightforward and simple. Second question, he says that he wouldn't push the fat man since he's just a bystander, and he'd feel bad about it because he's innocent, and he's also just a bystander to the situation. He values the bystander's life just as much as he values his, because I'm sure he wouldn't want somebody pushing him in front of the trolley.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then for the third one, he says that he would kill himself in some sort of heroic sacrifice in order to save the 6 total other people who are in danger. Because he says he'd kind of feel like a hero, like Superman, and sacrificing himself for the greater good.
He is a hero.
He's a hero. No, he's a good guy. He's a hard worker. He loves his superheroes, man. It's one of his top interests. It's nice that both him and your grandma would be fine with, sacrificing themselves to save more people. I like that. Good people, good hearts. All right, we're glad to see it. I think that was a good conclusion to the people we interviewed there. Definitely, we got a good collection of people. Nice variety in the responses. I'm glad we chose the people we did.
Yes.
All right, we got some final thoughts here. Owen, you want to start? Any patterns we noticed? Any trends?
Sure, there may not seem to be any real patterns among age group division. However, after analyzing all of our responses, it does seem that there's some sort of division in answers between men/boys and women/girls.
It's interesting.
Yes. Actually, it follows suit with utilitarian and Kantian ethics, surprisingly enough. The men have seemed to be more likely to kill 1 in order to save as many lives as possible, which is utilitarian.
Yeah, so the men are more harsher, but they
they're
basically do it
good.
to save more people. Okay, so they don't really care about morality. They want what's best for everyone.
Yes,
it's interesting. All
and
right.
The women, such as like my mother, my grandmother, my sister, seem more likely to just let fate run its course, don't get involved, just let the 5 die, similar to Kantian.
That's interesting that the women all happen to, follow more of the fate-based route. Now, let me ask you this: Are the women that we interviewed here, are any of them particularly religious at all? Do you think it has anything to do with that, or?
My grandmother is Catholic.
Okay.
But I don't know that has too much to do with it. I'm sure that, like, committing a crime has a factor in it, but not necessarily for a religious purpose.
All right, I see. I'm interested if we did a follow-up project on this, if we interviewed people, perhaps with different religious backgrounds, some atheist or some agnostic or of a certain religion, Catholicism, Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism. I'm curious to see if there'd be any trends that emerge with that, if certain religions are more likely to let certain people die or not,
Mm-hmm.
Just as a follow-up. So, I mean, that's pretty much it as far as trends go. But, I mean, there are a couple people we like to point out for having some more notable responses. We didn't really have that many people say that they would kill themselves in the third situation. We pretty much just had, who was it, Owen? It was my guy Keith, and I thought we had one other person. It was your grandmother?
Yeah, so older people seem to have been more likely
yeah,
to...
Keith is 55, by the way. That wasn't mentioned earlier.
My
But
grandmother's in her later 70s.
all right, that's interesting. I wonder if it's kind of one of those learning by experience and wisdom kind of things that you might feel later in your life.
Oh, and we had 2 college kids that seemed like they were okay with killing themselves in that situation.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of odd, but
Maybe they're just a little more wise than us or experienced. Who's to say, really?
impressed.
No, I don't know about that. But overall, I mean, I think that those are pretty much the big takeaways here, with the utilitarianism showing a strong trend among men, and the women going a lot more of the Kantian ethics, showing that they rely a lot more on fate for their decisions and don't want to mess with that. I respect that. All right, I mean, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you guys for listening. This is the 2 Guys, 1 Trolley podcast. I'm Nick.
I'm Owen.
Thanks for listening, guys. Catch you next time.